Liverpool has once again shone under the Champions League spotlight, and, as so often before, the hero of the night was Virgil van Dijk. At the 92nd minute, when the clock seemed to be conspiring against the Reds, it was the Dutch captain who rose higher than everyone else and headed the ball perfectly into the Atletico Madrid net, sealing an epic victory on the club's competition debut. The eruption of joy at Anfield was almost tangible. Shouts, hugs, tears, and a quiet certainty. The giant is still on top. Even at 34, Van Dijk seems to have defied time, returning from the summer break sharper, more focused, and somehow even more dominant. For those who believed his best days were behind him, this match was a resounding answer. This heroic performance reignited a debate that, although long-standing, has never ceased to spark discussion. Where exactly does Van Dijk rank among Liverpool's greatest names? In a club that has seen immortal legends and conquerors of every era, placing someone at the top is a colossal challenge. Even so, Jamie Carragher, one of the icons of the Reds' defense in the early 2000s, did not hesitate to give his opinion, and his words were filled with reverence. For him, Van Dijk is not just an excellent defender, he is one of the giants in the club's history. Carragher, known for his meticulous eye and rarely giving praise without merit, made it clear that he does not want to reduce Van Dijk merely to the label of best defender. In an interview with CBS, he explained that many players are called legends at Anfield, those who have lifted the Premier League, hoisted the Champions League, and etched their names in golden letters at the club. However, Carragher draws a distinction. Among the legends, there are the club giants. In this exclusive category, he includes revered names such as Steven Gerrard, Kenny Dalglish, Graham Souness, Alan Hansen, John Barnes, and of course, Mohamed Salah. Without a doubt, Van Dijk belongs in that category, said Carragher, with the conviction of someone who has lived every inch of Anfield's pitch. He is not at the bottom of that list, I can assure you. He will be remembered as one of the greatest players ever to wear this red shirt. Not just one of the best defenders, but one of the greatest Liverpool players in history. Hearing this from Carragher is almost like receiving a seal of eternity, because few understand the weight of being a club icon as well as he does. This view is no exaggeration. Since arriving at Liverpool, Van Dijk has completely transformed the team's defense. Before him, the Reds oscillated between brilliant attacking flashes and glaring defensive vulnerabilities. With his arrival, the team began to display an almost impenetrable solidity, which was key to winning the 2019 Champions League and the 2020 Premier League. His silent leadership, precise tackles, impeccable positioning, and commanding presence made him the cornerstone of a golden era. Not surprisingly, even in 2025, under Arne Slot, he remains the team's compass, dictating the tempo and rhythm from the back. It is remarkable to think that at 35, he still appears to be evolving. The summer brought a Van Dijk who is quicker in decision-making, sharper in reading the game, and perhaps most importantly, more confident than ever. The captain's armband, which many feared could be a burden, seems only to have amplified his authority on the pitch. He does not need to shout. A glance, a gesture, and the entire defensive line realigns as if they share one mind. There is something almost magnetic about his leadership, a steady calm that makes the rest of the team believe everything is under control, even in the most chaotic moments. It is no coincidence that the discussion about Van Dijk's place among Liverpool's greatest continues to grow. While some attempt to measure his greatness purely by statistics or trophies, others, like Carragher, understand that his true contribution goes beyond numbers. He has redefined what it means to be a modern centre-back at the club. He does not merely defend, he builds, organises, inspires. His ability to anticipate plays before they happen gives the impression that he is always one step ahead of everyone else on the pitch.
Curiously, the future looks promising.
At the end of last season, a shadow of uncertainty loomed. Van Dijk could leave the club at the end of his contract, possibly on a free transfer. It would have marked the end of an era, and the very thought sent shivers through the supporters. But to collective relief, he renewed his contract for another 2 years, ensuring his presence until 36. Many might consider that too advanced an age for an elite player, but Van Dijk appears determined to defy every stereotype. The way he maintains his peak form is almost a case study. Unlike defenders who rely on physical vigor, Van Dijk bases his game on intelligence, positioning, and precise reading of situations. He is rarely caught chasing attackers. Instead, he is always in the right place at the right time. This trait, which shields him from excessive physical wear, is one reason many believe he can continue performing at the highest level for several more years. There are plenty of examples in football to support this expectation. Thiago Silva, for instance, played in the Premier League until 39, maintaining an exceptionally high standard thanks to his experience and intelligence. Van Dijk seems to be following a similar path, and given how he has started this season, it would not be surprising to see him sign another contract when the current one expires. He seems determined to end his career at Anfield, and the supporters surely dream of that. Beyond all this, there is an emotional aspect that cannot be ignored. Van Dijk is not only a technically brilliant player, he represents a symbol of resilience. Since returning from a serious knee injury in 2020, many doubted he would reach the top again. But he did not merely return, he came back stronger. Every tackle won, every precise interception, every decisive goal is a reminder of his almost superhuman mental strength. This story of overcoming adversity brings him even closer to the fans, who see in him not just an athlete, but a warrior who refused to be defeated. Arne Slot's arrival as Liverpool manager in 2025 also seems to have breathed new life into the veteran. Slot introduced a more fluid and attacking philosophy, while simultaneously building his strategy on a solid defensive base, and naturally, Van Dijk is the central pillar of that structure. The manager frequently praises him in interviews, highlighting not only his on-field performance, but also his influence behind the scenes, where he mentors younger players and acts as a bridge between the coaching staff and the squad. This natural leadership role takes Van Dijk beyond the expectations of a captain. He does not merely guide, he inspires. Young players report that simply training alongside him teaches them more about positioning and decision-making than they could have imagined. This aura of a silent teacher reinforces Carragher's point. Van Dijk has already transcended the role of a centre-back. He is a victory architect, a guardian of tradition, and an exemplar of continuous excellence. Therefore, when Jamie Carragher places Virgil van Dijk alongside Gerrard, Dalglish and Salah, it is not mere exaggeration from a passionate ex-player. It is the recognition that in a club built on legendary heroes, Van Dijk is not just another chapter, he is one of the pillars. And if he continues at this impressive pace, the debate may no longer be about whether he is among the top 10, but whether he is the greatest of all. Meanwhile, the season continues, and Liverpool dreams big once more. With Arne Slot at the helm and Van Dijk at the heart of the defence, the team seems ready to write yet another unforgettable European saga. And if the captain continues delivering performances like this, it will not only be Atletico Madrid feeling the weight of his presence, it will be the entire continent. Because when Virgil van Dijk rises above everyone, even time seems to pause to watch.